really good to be with you this morning. I always enjoy coming down here, and yeah, it's just such a blessing to be with you guys this morning. But let's bow our eyes and our Lord Jesus, we thank you for the beautiful morning that you have created for us to enjoy and to celebrate and to praise your goodness and your graciousness. Lord, we thank you for your word. We thank you for your word that is written down, that you have preserved through the ages, and even this morning can speak right into our hearts. And we pray, Lord, that you would do that this morning, that as we open up the scriptures, that you would speak to us. Well, this is a passage of scripture that is a hard word, it is a rebuke, and I pray that we would have soft hearts that would be able to receive it, and through the rebuke to see the love that you have for us, and the tenderness and the mercy that is in this letter. And so we thank you for this in Jesus' name. Amen. Alright, so we come to our last church from the 7 letters that Jesus sent to the churches in Asia. Just put it there. And the really cool, exciting thing about Laodicea is that it's a current archaeological dig site. So since about 6 years ago, 8 years ago, up until now, one of the universities in Turkey have actually excavated the city of Laodicea and reconstructing it, which is actually a little bit of a debate within the archaeological world, because some of the purists are saying, well, no, you leave ruins as they are, and then there's another camp of thought that says, no, I think for people to appreciate the grandeur of what was there, we need to kind of reconstruct what we can. And so I've got some slides that I can show you about Laodicea, which is pretty cool. So I'm just going to bring that up. Are you plugged in? Oh. Cool. Alright, so first thing is, I'm just going to bring up this Google Maps, right? And if I zoom right out, here's where we are in the world. This is Turkey, modern day Turkey. That area was Asia Minor in the day, and this is the Lycus Valley over here. And so on this side of the Lycus Valley over there, where I'm pointing, you can see there's some, there's some white bits there and some white bits there, and those aren't actually clouds. What those are is calcium deposits, and that's from hot water springs. That's from hot water springs that are creating those calcium deposits. I'll show you some pictures about what that looks like. But in between, so Hierapolis, the city, the ancient city, is over there, and then across the valley, on this side, is Laodicea. And so we're going to zoom in some more. That's the ancient city of Laodicea. And so this whole area was the old city, and it's being excavated as we speak. So, and the fact that you can see so much of it just from Google Earth is pretty exciting. So all these colonnades over here, that's part of the sacred agora. That area was the marketplace where people would do the trading and that kind of stuff. And there's various temples and so on. There's 2 massive amphitheaters, one here and one here. And I want to show you something that's of particular interest. It doesn't look like much here. Down here. So that sort of hole in the ground there is a stadium. And it was built by a private citizen. So one thing you're going to see in a minute is that Laodicea was extravagantly wealthy. as a city. That stadium seats 40,000 people. A 40,000 seater stadium. It was built by a private individual and given as a gift to the Emperor Vespasian. So people in that city were wealthy. They were extremely wealthy. Have any of you got marble tops in your kitchens? Bench tops? No? None of us wealthy enough? Alright. Have you ever seen what a marble bench top costs? To put in? It's a lot of money. Have a look at the street over here. The street running down here. That entire street is paved in polished marble. So it's quite something. So here's some pictures. Oh, this year, March. You see, if I preached the sermon any earlier, you would have never heard this. This year in March, they uncovered a statue that is in almost perfect condition of the Emperor Trajan. Here's the statue. And they just dug it up in March of this year. It's absolutely phenomenal. There it is. Handsome looking fella. This is that street that I was talking about. You can see the marble slabs there. Obviously, that was built a good 2,000 or something years ago, so it's had some wear and tear. And here they're busy kind of rebuilding things. So here you can see what they've done is they've replaced some of the colonnades that had disappeared with new marble pieces so that they can reconstruct the columns. Quite something. There's one of the theatres, amphitheatres. All of that is white marble. You can see also at the tops of all those columns, they had very ornate carvings. Yeah, that's that amphitheatre I showed you earlier. Stadium. Alright. Cool. So that's Laodicea. And the reason I wanted to show you those photos is to show you that this was a very, very wealthy city. Some of the homes that have been excavated were 2,000 square meters. Now, for an ancient home, well, that's even big by today's standards. Any of you got a 2,000 square meter house? That's pretty good. And even by ancient standards, that was quite something. Because if you look at, say, Nazareth by comparison, most of the homes that they've excavated in the city of Nazareth were about the same size as a single garage, and then you would host, in that house, a single garage size, you would have your family, your extended family, and maybe some animals. So these people were wealthy. Now one of the problems, I'm going to quickly bring up another slide. Here's a bit of a geographical map. You can see the Lycus Valley in the middle. Now, one of the problems with Laodicea was that although there's a river running through the Lycus Valley, it's not much of a river, and there wasn't a whole lot of water in the area, and so on the Hierapolis side, you had these beautiful hot springs that I think, I'll show you some pictures. Those are the hot springs in the rapids. And they're full of these incredible calcium deposits, and so they're sort of full of these pools and stuff like that. And it's a little bit more beautiful than the mud spas up here in Rotorua. But it's kind of the same thing. It's hot springs, and it's minerally rich water. And so Hierapolis kind of had that, and then on the a little bit further down you had Colossae, and Colossae had lots of fresh springs, and they had nice cold, clean drinking water. And the problem with Laodicea is they didn't have any real water of their own. And so what they did was they decided to build a pipeline from Hierapolis and pump that water right across the valley, well, down the valley and up again. And this is something I just find so exciting because, some of you are engineers, you would know that given the technology of this day, that would have been quite a feat. These two cities were like way above sea level, and the valley was really deep, and to get and pump water up without any electricity or any engines or any of that kind of technology, they had to come up with a very sophisticated system of siphons and so forth, but they had the money to do that. And so they just threw money at this problem, and they pumped water all the way across the valley, about 15 kilometers. And so, like Philadelphia, the Lycus Valley was the area that was really prone to earthquakes, maybe a bit of New Zealand as well. And on at least 2 occasions, this entire city was actually flattened by earthquakes. And the interesting thing is the citizens were so filthy rich that when it was destroyed, they rebuilt the entire city out of their own money. There's a letter, historians have evidence of a letter that was written to the imperial government from the city saying, "We don't want your money, we'll do it ourselves." They basically said, "We're not into charity, we're wealthy enough, take your money somewhere else. You're not going to rebuild the city, we are going to rebuild the city with our own money." And so they were incredibly proud of their wealth, and archaeologists are constantly finding little plaques all over the city which say, this was rebuilt at our own expense. So they were wealthy and they were proud about it. And so with this wealth and affluence, it all sort of came about because they were the biggest, most sort of easterly city in the Roman Empire, and they were a trade center. They had this thriving forex service, they had banking, they had commerce and trade, and it was really where all the rich people lived. I don't know where do all the rich people live here. Don't say Auckland. But it was that kind of place. If you were anything in this world, if you were successful, if you had an education, if you wanted to make a name for yourself, you went here. You went to Laodicea. That's where the money was. And so and so the people there were kind of snobby. They were very proud. And they were even geographically, they were sort of on a high plane and kind of looked over everything. And so they looked down on everybody else. And not surprisingly, it wasn't difficult for that sort of culture that pervaded the city, like an atmosphere, to rub off on the Christians there. The Christians, it was just the culture that they lived in. And so the Christians sort of saw themselves as a bit egotistic and as a bit snobby. And this is the context that Jesus writes the letter to this church. He says, "I know your deeds, that you are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were either one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth." Now, I'm going to show you two more pictures. Those are the remains of the pipes that they pumped water across the valley in. There's some more. They're clay pipes that were kind of built in and through the rocks and stuff like that in the valley. And if you can look carefully, you'll see this kind of white stuff inside the pipes. Those are mineral deposits from the water because it was being pumped from Hierapolis, which was the sort of the calcium and the mineral-rich water, and it was being pumped through. And it started off from Hierapolis. It started off as hot water, but by the time it went 15, 20 kilometers through the pipe system, it was lukewarm, and it was full of minerals and grit and stuff. It was like, what's that park you have here where you have the pools? Sorry? We? Yeah. Would you guys take a drinking water from there? That's kind of what the water was like there. So the water was hot to begin with. It cooled down and it was lukewarm, and it was really just gross and disgusting. And it would make you sick. I mean, the ancient writer Cicero said that the writing in Laodicea, the water in Laodicea was the worst tasting water in the whole Roman Empire. So now often when we've read who of you who read this verse have kind of interpreted it as, well, what Jesus is saying, look, I wish you were either spiritually hot, spiritually cold, but because you're spiritually lukewarm, I can spit you out of my mouth. And that's how you kind of interpret it. But think about that a little bit. Why would Jesus want the church to be why would he prefer the church to be spiritually cold as opposed to spiritually lukewarm? Spiritually lukewarm is better than being spiritually cold, right? It doesn't really make sense. And I don't think that's how the Laodiceans would have understood it. What's happening here is that he's kind of using an illustration from their water system. And he's saying, you know how in the mornings when you wake up and you go to your tap, and they actually have plumbing systems, by the way. They were basically one of the only cities in the Roman world that had indoor plumbing. Extremely wealthy city. So they go there, and you want to open the tap, and out comes water, and it's not hot enough to make you coffee, but it's not cold enough to make iced coffee, and it's just this horrible, gross, stinky, mucky water. You take a sip and you just want to throw up because it's disgusting. And Jesus says, well, it's kind of what you like. It's kind of what the church is like. It's not a compromise. Hierapolis has useful water. Hierapolis has these hot springs, and they're great. I mean, you guys know about that. In Rotorua, people take baths in the spring water, and it has like medicinal properties, and there's something valuable that you can do with hot spring water. I mean, the Maoris used to cook food in the hot springs. There's something you can do with a cold spring. It's beautiful, clean, cold water. You can drink it. But what do you do with the water that Laodicea has? They have good for nothing water. It's just lukewarm. It tastes horrible, and it's just useless. And that is what Jesus is saying about this church. He's saying it's not that you're spiritually lukewarm, but what he means by saying you're lukewarm is that you're spiritually useless. You're not hot useful, you're not cold useful. And I want to treat you just the way you treat your water. I kind of want to gag when I think about this church. And so this is a really hard rebuke from Jesus. And so he says, if you do not repent, I will spit you out of my mouth. Now, why does Jesus say this? What is so disgusting to Jesus about this church? Now, we've established these are very wealthy Christians, and I'm going to look carefully, because that per se is not the problem. Look carefully at what is written in verse 17. You say, which is quite helpful to me, you say, I am rich. I have acquired wealth. I do not need a thing. But you do not realize that you are wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. It's not the fact that they are wealthy that is the problem. It's that their wealth has blinded them to their spiritual poverty. Their wealth has blinded them to the fact that they actually don't have anything before God which they can offer to Him to please Him. They're blind to their own poverty. They say, look at everything I've accomplished. Look at all the wealth I have. All of this I have done. Surely there is some good in me. Surely I can accomplish something of spiritual benefit, that I can come to God and say, look, God, you should reward me for what a good life I'm living. They just don't see it. They're blind to their poverty, their spiritual poverty. And I mean, Laodicea was kind of famous. That's another thing that they've discovered underground, is they've dug up the city. They've found these dying, basically a little factory where they dyed garments, and they made garments out of the wool that was from a particular type of sheep, the black sheep that they used to keep in the area. And it was very expensive, the garments. It was kind of like your branded, or your Levi jeans, or your Armani suits. It was something that was very expensive, and so they were very well dressed. And so Jesus says, well, you think you're well dressed, but you're actually naked. Put some clothes on for Pete's sake. Another thing that they were kind of famous for is he says to them that they're blind. And this would be quite shocking, because one of the things the city was known for is that they had an ophthalmologist, like a center where people came to get their eye problems sorted out. They had a particular salve and ointment that seemed to do wonders, that seemed to cure even some forms of blindness, and to help sort out eye infections and all sorts of problems. And the great irony here, Jesus says, is, well, people are constantly coming to you because they've got because they've got visual blindness, but the church cannot even see its own spiritual blindness. They think they're wealthy, they think they're well dressed, they think they see, but their wealth and their pride have blinded them to the reality that they are poor, that they're naked, and they're blind. Now, why is that? Matthew's Gospel, do you remember the Sermon on the Mount? The Sermon on the Mount starts off in Matthew's Gospel, where Jesus stands up before the crowd and he says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for they will inherit the kingdom of God." Remember that. Very famous words of Jesus. Right? And what does he mean by that? Blessed are the poor in spirit. So who are the poor in spirit? What do you think? All of us? Yeah. But he's not being universalistic. He's not like saying, well, look, whoever, you guys are all poor in spirit, you're all going to inherit the kingdom of God. Who like specifically are the people going to inherit the kingdom of God?
Humble people.
Sorry?
Humble people.
Humble people. Yeah, that's key. People who understand that their need, who understand their sinfulness, who understand their spiritual poverty, and that they don't have a righteousness of their own, and people who realize they need a Savior. They need Jesus Christ's righteousness, because they have no righteousness of their own. That's someone who's poor in spirit. Now, it's very interesting in Luke's Gospel, Jesus does a re-teaching of the Sermon on the Mount, but just with his disciples. And when he reteaches it, it's with a little bit of differences. And one of the differences is that when he teaches it in Luke's Gospel, he says, "Blessed are the poor, for they will inherit the kingdom of God." So he just leaves off that hot fire of poor in spirit. He just says, blessed are the poor, for they will inherit the kingdom of God. Now, is Jesus saying that if you're materially poor, that automatically saves you? Probably not. What he is saying is the reason why he can treat literal, physically, materially poor people and poor in spirit. Literally, physically, poor people and the poor in spirit as synonymous. The reason why he can treat them as such is because the gap between being literally poor and recognizing your spiritual poverty is actually very, very small. It doesn't take much for someone who has nothing, who has nothing to realize and to understand the concept that we have nothing before God that we can commend ourselves by. It's a small gap for a person like that to cross. However, it is an extremely difficult one for someone who is materially wealthy to recognize that they are poor spiritually. Jesus says it's almost impossible. It is extremely, extremely difficult. Because that is what wealth and security does. It blinds us to our spiritual reality. It blinds us to who we are as we stand before God. Jesus tells this story about, it's a parable. There's someone who comes to Jesus. And perhaps you've done this, I've done this a lot, where you're sitting in a church listening to a sermon and you're listening, you're like, oh man, I know who needs to hear this sermon. And that's kind of what this guy does. He's listening to Jesus talking about being generous, and he's like, Jesus, you know who needs to hear this? My brother. And he's like, you need to go talk to my brother because he doesn't want to share his inheritance with me. And I think he's being really unloving and ungracious to me by not sharing his wealth. And so Jesus tells him the story about a guy who is a farmer, and the farmer has this incredible harvest. And so what he says is, he looks at his harvest and he's like, man, I'm not going to fit all this grain and stuff into the silos that I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear those silos down, I'm going to build bigger silos, I'm going to store it all up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit back and take life easy, because I have all of that stored up, and I don't need to do anything. I am set for the rest of my life. And what happens in the parable is God comes to him and he says, you fool, you idiot. This very night your life will be taken from you. Who will get what you have stored up? And what the parable is teaching is that, look, there's nothing wrong with saving. There's nothing wrong with spending money on yourself or your family or your needs. That's just part of living in a physical world. We have to spend money, and it's wise to save money. But what he's saying is, the issue is that what you've done is, by saving all of your money, you are living as if this life is all that exists. You are not living in light of the life that comes hereafter. You're not recognizing that, hey, something's going to happen when I die. There's a life that comes after this, and maybe I should use my money in some way that affects the life to come. See, and even as Christians, and this is what the church had fallen into in Laodicea, is that kind of, even as Christians, we at least intellectually acknowledge that there is a life to come, but for all intents and purposes, practically, here and now, we live as if this life is all there is. So all of our time, all of our money, all of our energy, everything we do is focused on this world and what we have in this world. It might be like just your money. It might be that everything you do is working towards your success in your business, or how your accomplishments in whatever other field, or maybe it's your children and you want to see your children are successful, and your whole life is poured into that. And what you're doing is you're living as if the life hereafter does not exist. There's an advert on the radio for, I don't know if you've heard it, for the lotto, where this guy says, he says, if I win the lotto, I'm going to buy all my mates pizza in Italy. And then he says, but then we have to go to Hawaii because, John likes Hawaiian pizza. And it's kind of funny and humorous, and you would probably say, if you win $4 million, be my guest, go to Italy, go buy some pizza. But if that guy said, listen, I'm going to take the whole $4 million, every last cent of it, and I'm going to spend it all on pizza, what would you say to him? You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Because life consists of more than eating pizza, right? There are other things in life slightly more important than pizza, right? So you're a fool. And yet, that's how the church in Laodicea are living, is they're saying, this is all that matters. This life is all that matters. These next 40 or 50 years is what I'm going to live for. It's practical atheism. And so this is why Jesus has this really hard rebuke to them. And so look at verse 19. He says, those whom I love, I rebuke and I discipline. And I think that is such a beautiful verse. Maybe just stop and think about that. I know, he's just said to this church, you guys are revolting. You disgust me. I want to vomit you up. And he says, but listen, the reason I'm rebuking you, the reason I'm coming down really hard on you, the reason I'm disciplining you is because I love you. Those whom I love, I rebuke and I discipline. And I think that's so beautiful. He says, so be earnest and repent. Here I am, I stand at the door and I knock. And if anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with him and he with me. Now, I'm not going to judge you if any of you have used this verse evangelistically, but that's not what it's for. This is not Jesus saying to non-Christians, I'm knocking on the door of your heart. This is Jesus saying to the church that has the sign saying, we are the followers of Jesus Christ, and Jesus is locked outside the church and he's banging on the door. And they open the little peephole, and they're like, oh, hi, who are you? Oh, I'm Jesus. I'm kind of what this church is about. Oh, no, we don't like your kind. Like, you're going to come in here and tell us to repent, and you're going to tell us that we've got to give our time and our money and our lives to other people, not spend it all on ourselves. And there's a lot of important people back here. There's people who have degrees and ride the fanciest chariots, have got nice batches on the beach. and then they're like your kind, so we're just going to lock the doors and we'll maybe off to church. And so Jesus says, look, if you hear my voice and you open the door, if you hear my rebuke and you submit to me, then two things will happen. He says, you will eat with me and you will sit on my throne with me. And these are incredible promises, because in the ancient world, the greatest honor that we could give to anybody was to invite them over to a meal, number one, and then to sit them next to you at your right hand. That's why Jesus was so controversial. That's why everyone had such a big problem with him eating with prostitutes. and tax collectors. He was affording them the greatest honor that he could possibly do, saying, "Come and eat with me." And so this is what Jesus says to us. He says, "Look, if you can realize that everything that you have is actually from me, and if you can live with me as your king, and if you can repent of your materialism and your pride, and you can submit to me, then the reward is you get to sit in my presence with me. I'll invite you to eat with me. And not only that, to sit on my throne with me." That's an incredible verse. Because, let me just show you why it's incredible. If you have your Bibles, just open up there. Right, end of chapter 3. And I want you to see, I need to show you this, but I'm also trying not to steal my own thunder for next time I preach. Because this is the beauty of the next chapter 4 and 5. But, so, he says, 21, "The one who conquers, I will grant him to sit with me on my throne, also as I also conquered and sat down with my Father on his throne." Right? So he says to us, look, the reason why I can give you this promise that you get to sit with me and reign with me in my throne is because I conquered. I conquered and I got to sit on my Father's throne. Now, have a look at chapter, just like skim through chapter 4, or just have a look at what the title is. Chapter 4 says, "The throne in heaven." So what happened immediately after this, John sees this vision of the throne room of heaven. And there is God, the Creator, sitting on the seat of power, on the throne. And he's just blown away by this. And then, chapter 5, what happens is there is a lamb sitting on the throne with God the Father. And all the angels are singing the song, and they're saying, well, the Lamb is worthy to sit on the throne. Why is the Lamb worthy to sit on the throne? We sang it, the answer was so. Do you know? Why was the Lamb worthy? Sorry? Because he was slain. John said, I saw the Lamb who was looking as he was slain. Jesus is saying, I bought that right to sit at God's right hand, on God's throne, with my own blood. I bought your entrance into God's presence. The fact that you can sit down with God and eat, the fact that you can sit on His throne and rule with me, is because I paid for you to do that with my own blood. Do you see the love of Jesus Christ in this promise? He's saying, look, why would you live for this world? Why would you live as if this temporary existence is all there is? But this is what I've done. I've gone to the cross. It was my blood that shed for you. So, just one last thing. Well, and I'll end off on this. Have a look. Look at what he says to them. He says, what must you do? You must repent. And let's look at that. He says, I counsel you to buy from me gold refined by fire, so that you may be rich. White garments, so that you may clothe yourself, and clothe yourself, and the shame of your nakedness may not be seen. So he says, right, you've got to clothe yourself. Buy from me garments of white. The image in Revelation that's repeated again and again is that God can give us garments of white, and they're white because, sort of paradoxically, they're washed. The garments are white because they're washed in the blood of the Lamb. The garments that Jesus, the righteousness that Jesus gives us, comes at the cost of His blood. Why can He give us gold? Because the gold is refined by fire. Jesus has to go through the fires of God's judgment in order that we can have the gold of His righteousness. You see? everything that Jesus gives us, the position, the gold, the clothes, these are spiritual concepts, the throne, all of that was bought at the price, at the cost of his blood. It was all at the cost of his sacrifice. Let's pray. Our Lord and our God, we thank you for the gospel message. We thank you that that is the only thing that is actually able to